I call upon all of us to set aside our differences, to seek out common ground, and to summon the unity we need to deliver for the people, because Americans are dreamers too. And I will not stop until our veterans are properly taken care of. At least $1.5 trillion for the new infrastructure investment that our country so desperately needs. North Korea's reckless pursuit of nuclear missiles could very soon threaten our homeland. I will not repeat the mistakes of past administrations that got us into this very dangerous position. The motto is, "In God we trust." Our nation will forever be safe and strong and proud and mighty and free.
President Trump laying out his aggressive agenda for 2018, calling for unity in an inspirational first State of the Union address. The president extending an open hand to Democrats on immigration while holding firm on border security. Kelly Wright here now with his call to come together to reach a solution for dreamers. Good morning, Kelly.
Heather, good morning to you as well. Before laying out his 4-point immigration plan, President Trump presented one of the most emotional moments of his State of the Union address. He introduced two families from Long Island, New York, who lost their daughters to a senseless act of violence. As those parents wiped away tears, the president explained how vicious MS-13 gang members who illegally entered America carried out the attack on the two girls.
Their two teenage daughters, Kayla Cuevas and Nisa Mickens, were close friends. These two precious girls were brutally murdered while walking together in their hometown. While we cannot imagine the depths of that kind of sorrow, we can make sure that other families never have to endure this kind of pain.
With that, President Trump explained that his goal with immigration is to protect all citizens of every background, color, religion, and creed.
My duty, and the sacred duty of every elected official in this chamber, is to defend Americans, to protect their safety, their families, their communities, and their right to the American dream, because Americans are dreamers too.
The president further explained that he wants a 4-point plan for immigration that includes allowing 1.8 DACA dreamers to have a pathway to citizenship, building a border wall with more border and ICE agents to patrol it, and the visa lottery program and end chain migration. Congressman Joe Kennedy of Massachusetts delivered the Democratic response from a school in Fall River, a city of immigrants. He spoke to DACA dreamers, telling them to keep the faith.
And to all the dreamers out there watching tonight, let me be absolutely clear. Ustedes son parte de nuestra historia. Vamos a luchar por ustedes y no nos vamos a alejar. You are part of our story. We will fight for you, and we will not walk away.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristen Nielsen says the Trump administration is committed to negotiating with both parties to increase security and revise immigration.
I think it is a compromise. He listened to members from both parties, as did I. And all I can tell you with respect to that is we're committed. We're negotiating in good faith. We'll continue to do that. I hope that they will agree to do the same.
And so the president has laid out his plan. It is now up to Democrats and Republicans to find a pathway to a bipartisan bill for the president to sign. And Heather, the president says it's time to bring immigration reform to the 21st century.
All right, Kelly Wright, live for us this morning. Thank you, Kelly. Well, President Trump says, as Kelly said, he's extending the hand of bipartisanship, but Democrats would rather sit on theirs, apparently, refusing to acknowledge the president's first-year accomplishments at last night's State of the Union. So shouldn't they be happy about making the progress that we've made so far? Joining me now is Olympic Media Managing Editor Katie Freites and Democratic strategist Chuck Rocha. Thank you both for joining us this morning. I know you had a long night. Chuck, I want to start with you. What was going through your mind when you saw the president talking about the unemployment numbers, talking about people doing anything, no matter where you came from or who you are, no matter your background of color, religion, or creed, and then the Democrats are just sitting there?
I've watched this theater now for 27 years and doing campaigns. This is the way the game is played, and this is exactly why Washington is broke. I'm not doubting my Democratic friends for sitting down. I'd have sat down too. Let's be clear, 3 months ago in Virginia, where the Republicans had a 17-seat majority in the House, we won it back to even. I say that because we're using Donald Trump the way they used Barack Obama for political. It's kind of like how they're using the Dreamers as a political football. If people would just come together and figure out how to do the commonality of what you're talking about, Heather, we'd be in a better place, but politics gets in the way.
But you lead by example, Chuck. I mean, I've got to get to Katie, but I can't believe that you would not stand up for some of that.
Sure, I'm for infrastructure. I would love for him to have a clean Dreamer bill, but everything is all messed up because they're trying to go to one side or the other of the party. Like, we can't do this unless we make Wall Street happy or the other. And politics still will always get in the way as long as we have money in politics.
Well, Katie, did it appear that the Democrats are willing to work with Republicans?
Well, clearly not if the entirety of the Congressional Black Caucus couldn't even manage to stand for historically low black unemployment rates. But look, Heather, the point of this is that it seems like a majority of Democrats cannot fathom the idea of giving credit where credit is due when it comes to President Trump or Republicans. And maybe that's because they're embarrassed they didn't vote for tax reform, or maybe that's because they're more anti-Trump than they are pro-America. But it showed last night. And if they think that's going to help them in the midterms, I think they're going to be sorely mistaken.
Yeah, they looked so angry, Chuck. And then you had the rebuttals. I know that you worked for Bernie Sanders. What did you think about his rebuttal? I mean, he called the president a bully. He said that it was a bad speech because he didn't talk about climate change.
Exactly right. I mean, as I just talked about, and I'm not trying to get so worked up this morning, I had a lot of coffee. But what I'm saying is that you're going to have politicians who want to advocate for the policies they believe are going to make America the place it should be, and they want to get out and reach out to American people. There's just different philosophies on how we get there. So you have these politicians going at each other for political reasons because they truly believe, and I believe in Bernie Sanders, that some of these policies are different than the opposition party that are actually better.
Yeah. Well, Katie, what do you think? Our final comment. I mean, when you're asking for people, your constituents to come together and try to bridge the gap, but you're visually not prepared to do it, that says a lot.
Well, I do agree with what was just said, that, you know, people tend to go about things different ways for political points, but it's not a good look to have sat through all of the things they sat through. And hey, CBS News did a poll, 97% of Republicans, 43% of Democrats, 72% of independents liked that speech.
Yeah, overwhelmingly a positive response. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Chuck, you lost your hat last night.
I know, it was wild. It was
Thank
crazy.
you.
All right, have a great day, you guys. Well, President Trump talking tough on terror in his first State of the Union.
In the past, we have foolishly released hundreds and hundreds of dangerous terrorists, only to meet them again on the battlefield.
Rebecca Heinrichs is a foreign policy expert. Why she says the threat is very real and President Trump's tough talk is a step in the right direction. She is live up next.
It's like Preston teach all of us about our civic duty as Americans. And I met Preston a little while ago, and he is something very special, that I can tell you. Great future. Thank you very much for all you've done, Preston.
Millions of you are online right now searching one topic. That will generate over 600 million results. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, searching for answers, like where to treat, can feel even more